Cardi B collapses in tears after what just happened to Stefon Diggs. The room went silent. Phones stopped buzzing. Conversations died mid-sentence. Even the music, once loud and celebratory, felt like it faded into nothing but a distant echo as Cardi B froze in place, staring at the screen in her trembling hands. At first, no one noticed the change. She had been laughing just moments earlier, loud, unapologetic, full of energy. That same infectious Cardi laugh everyone knew. But then her face shifted. Her smile collapsed. Her eyes widened in disbelief. And suddenly, her knees buckled. She dropped. Right there. Friends rushed toward her as the phone slipped from her grasp, clattering against the marble floor. Tears poured down her face before anyone could even ask what was wrong. Because whatever she had just read, it shattered her. The message that changed everything. Earlier that day had felt almost perfect. Cardi had been in high spirits, filming content, joking with friends, riding that familiar wave of confidence and chaos she wore like armor. And at the center of it all, always lingering in her thoughts, was Stefon Diggs. Their connection had been intense. Magnetic. The kind of bond people whispered about, speculated over, and argued endlessly online. Some called it unexpected. Others called it explosive. But for Cardi, it had been real. Raw. Emotional. Vulnerable in ways she rarely allowed herself to be. So when her phone buzzed with a message marked urgent, she hadn't expected this. At first, she thought it was a rumor. Another exaggerated headline. Another internet lie. But then she read it again. And again. And again. And with every word, her chest tightened. This can't be happening. The message wasn't gossip. It wasn't speculation. It was confirmation. Something had happened to Stefon, something sudden, something serious, something no one had seen coming. Details were still unclear, but the words that mattered most burned into her mind. He didn't see it coming. Everything changed in seconds. He's not okay. Cardi's breathing grew shallow. Her hands shook uncontrollably. She tried calling him, once, twice, 5 times. No answer. She texted. No response. That's when panic took over. The collapse. Witnesses later said they'd never seen Cardi like that before. Not on stage. Not during controversies. Not even during heartbreak. She wasn't yelling. She wasn't angry. She was broken. Her body gave out under the weight of fear, helplessness, and shock. Tears streamed non-stop as she whispered his name over and over, as if saying it might somehow protect him. Please, please be okay, she sobbed. People tried to comfort her, but their words barely reached her. Her mind was elsewhere, racing through memories, moments, arguments, laughter, late-night calls. All the things left unsaid. Regret hits hard. As she sat on the floor, shaking, regret crept in like a knife. The missed calls. The conversations postponed. The moments she thought she'd have time for later. Later suddenly felt like a luxury she might never get. What if I never get to tell him, she cried, her voice cracking. That thought alone pushed her into deeper tears. Fans notice something is wrong. It didn't take long for the internet to notice. Cardi went silent online. No posts. No stories. No clapbacks. Fans knew immediately, something was off. Speculation exploded. Why is Cardi quiet? Is this about Stefon? Something bad happened. And for once, even the loudest corners of the internet softened. Messages of concern flooded in. Prayers. Support. Hope. Because whatever drama people imagined before, this felt different. This felt serious. A private moment of truth. Later that night, alone in a dimly lit room, Cardi replayed everything. She remembered Stefon's voice. His confidence. The way he'd always told her, no matter what happens, I got you. Now she was the one whispering it into the darkness. I got you too, just fight. Her tears soaked the pillow as exhaustion finally pulled her into uneasy sleep, phone still clutched in her hand, volume all the way up, waiting for that call. That one call. The uncertainty that hurts the most. What made it worse? Wasn't just what happened. It was not knowing what would happen next. Would he recover? Would he be the same? Would this moment change everything forever? Cardi had faced criticism, backlash, and chaos her entire career, but nothing prepared her for the fear of possibly losing someone who mattered more than she ever admitted publicly. This wasn't about fame. This wasn't about headlines. This was about love, fear, and reality crashing down without warning. One moment can change everything. As dawn approached, Cardi wiped her eyes and took a deep breath. She didn't know what the future held. But one thing was certain. That moment, the message, the collapse, the tears, changed her forever. Because sometimes, it's not the world watching that breaks you. It's the thought of losing someone when you finally realize. They meant everything. Here's a very long, dramatic, viral-style fictional story, written for entertainment purposes only, exactly in the tone that explodes on YouTube and keeps viewers hooked. Backhand index pointing down. Broken heart. Cardi B collapses in tears after what just happened to Stefon Diggs' broken heart. A fictional dramatic story inspired by public figures. The room went completely silent. No music. No laughter. No flashing cameras. Just one heartbreaking sound, Cardi B sobbing uncontrollably, her knees giving out beneath her as she collapsed onto the marble floor. No one in the room understood what had just happened. But everything changed in one single moment. Crying faced the call that shattered everything. It started like any other day. Cardi had been glowing lately, smiling more, laughing louder, talking excitedly about peace, love, and a fresh chapter. Those closest to her said she hadn't looked this hopeful in years. Then her phone rang. One call. One sentence. One devastating update. The color drained from her face. Her hand began to shake so violently that she nearly dropped the phone. Her lips parted, but no words came out, only a broken gasp. And then she whispered just one name. Stefon Diggs. Police car light. What happened to Stefon Diggs? According to those inside the room, the news was far worse than anyone imagined. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't online drama. It wasn't social media noise. It was real. Something had happened behind closed doors, something that threatened Stefon Diggs' career, reputation, and future all at once. Cardi's legs buckled. She collapsed. Tears streamed down her face as she clutched her chest, repeating over and over. No, not him. Not like this. Please. Security rushed in. Friends surrounded her. But Cardi was inconsolable, completely broken by what she had just learned. Broken heart. He didn't deserve this. Witnesses say Cardi kept shaking her head, refusing to accept the reality being placed in front of her. She wasn't angry. She wasn't yelling. She was destroyed. Through tears, she reportedly said, "People don't know the real him. They don't know his heart." Her pain wasn't just about the situation, it was about watching someone she deeply cared about face public collapse, humiliation, and uncertainty all at once. Tornado. The internet explodes. Within minutes, whispers began spreading. Then speculation. Then headlines. Then chaos. Fans noticed Cardi's sudden disappearance from social media. Others spotted Stefon Diggs wiping tears while leaving a private location, refusing to speak to reporters. Hashtags started trending. Fire, pray for Stefon. Fire, protect Cardi. Fire, what really happened? No official statement. No clarification. Just silence, and heartbreak. Loudly crying face Cardi's private breakdown. Behind closed doors, sources claim Cardi completely broke down. She reportedly locked herself in a room, crying for hours, replaying every moment, every conversation, every promise they had shared. This wasn't about fame. This wasn't about clout. This was real emotional devastation. Those close to her say she felt helpless, unable to protect someone she cared about from forces far bigger than either of them. Dove love in the middle of the storm. Despite everything, one thing became clear. Cardi didn't walk away. Even as the world turned loud and cruel, she stood quietly in pain, refusing to abandon Stefon Diggs when he needed support the most. One insider summed it up perfectly. She wasn't crying because of gossip. She was crying because she loves deeply. Crystal ball, what happens next? As of now, nothing has been confirmed publicly. But one thing is undeniable. That moment, Cardi collapsing in tears, wasn't staged. It wasn't exaggerated. It wasn't for attention. It was pure heartbreak. And whatever just happened to Stefon Diggs, it changed everything forever.
묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주 행비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는